Welcome back, friends. This is the second part of this video. In the first part, I have already discussed how SC, ST, OBC representation have to be still achieved at various levels in the government sector. So, in this part, I'm going to talk about an important narrative which was built, where it was mentioned that the SC, STs are actually eating away the pie of the OBCs. So, how did this come about? So this came because of an unstarred question number 541. So you can see that. So 541 for dated 2018, where the representation of reserved categories in various ministries it was given. So you can see here. So what they mentioned was in agriculture, SCs were 23.1%, OBCs are 12.97%. So it is because of the SCs that the OBC reservation is getting restricted. That is because they are getting more. The OBC reservation is getting restricted at 19.72%. So again, I have already mentioned in my earlier video that the representation of SCs are more in Group D, that is Safai Karmachari. Bulk of the cleaning staff, they all come from the SC community. And in the Group C cadre. So they are all in the low level jobs. But at strategic positions like Group A, Group B, still the representation is not to that level that they can eat up the pie of the OBCs. And the second question is this data correct? So which I'm going to talk now, like whether what we are seeing here is actually correct or it requires a correction. So let me now dwell into this. So for example, to understand this, we have to discuss some OMs. So the first OM is this number 36017 from DOPT dated 5th July 2005. So what it tells is that the reservation of quantum of for scheduled caste, scheduled tribes and other backward classes in case of direct recruitment at the regional level. So based on the population levels in the respective region, Group A and Group C and Group D can be recruited. So this is a slightly different this thing. So what this means is that the Group C and Group D are treated as separately. It is not like an aggregate level. So you cannot tell that overall you recruit more at Group D and then tell that Group A is achieved. So it is not like that. So it is like a cadre based structure where at every level the 50% reservation has to be met. So Group C, Group D is a separate this thing, and then in case what happens is that in Group C, Group D, what happens in cleaning, there is nothing like reservation. So most of them come on own merit. So that is there is nothing called reservations in this. So here again, one more circular tells that you cannot exchange SC, ST and OBC seats. So how does this affect? I will tell you shortly. And this is that Sabharwal judgment from the Supreme Court, which tells that if there are own merit students, that is own merit, so we have to ensure that they are given the general merit category. So they cannot be treated as reserved category. So how does this affect? Now for example, I am taking the example which I took in the first part of the video. So you can see this 2013. So you know that this is the representation of SC, ST, OBC in every level, A, B, C, and every level you have to see the percentage. Now when you are giving something more than 15%, that is for an SC, what does that mean? This 0.56% is actually own merit. They are actually own merit guys who have come through their own merit. It is not through reservation. So again, category in C also there is 2.27% more reservation for SCs. They are probably come on own merit. So all these red colored one, they are all on own merit. So the reserved seats cannot go beyond 15% for SC. That is the main thing which I am telling. And reserved seat for ST cannot go beyond 7.5% for STs. OBCs it cannot go beyond 27%. In OBCs this is not an issue because this has never been achieved. The 27 limit has never been achieved. So the problem is only in SCs and STs because they are recruited in more number at the lower level, that is Group C and Group D. So you can see here at group D, it's 29.72. So what does that mean? 29.72, 15% max can be coming through reservation. Okay, the remaining 14.72 is actually own merit. So you cannot tell that they are there on the reservation list. They cannot be considered as reservation list. So similarly for 2021 we did the same thing, and you can see that in group D you can see the SC representation is 32.56%. So this is actually, what is it, 15 plus 17.56% you have to take. So 17.56% is the own merit case. So all this red color one indicates own merit case. So this is a very important finding which has a huge impact on the final numbers. So how does it impact? Now in the last one you saw, just a minute, the slides. Okay, so you can see here. So this 32.56%. So this 32.56%, this 15 alone has to be in SC, and this 17.56% has to go to general. So you can see that this 17.56% has to move to general category. So this is what we have done here. So if we do this normalization here, like for example mostly SC, so what will happen, that extra numbers above 15 has to go to general. So what will you get here? 15.46, 58.55, 55.39%. So what I am telling you is that it is not that, but just by putting more number in SC percentages at lower level, it does not mean that the entire SC reservation has been achieved. So we have to see why more numbers were taken there. So they probably were taken only based on their own merit. They came to those jobs by their merit, because usually the reservation cannot cross 50%. The reservation for SCs cannot cross 15%. So then how come 32% people were taken at that level? So that's a very important question we have to raise. That means that if 30% people were taken at that level, group D level, 15% are at least own merit, 15% are through reserved category. My hunch is that out of this 30% who are there at group D level, most of them will be on own merit, because there is nothing called reservation which is there at that level. It's all like low level jobs. So this has a big impact on the list which was given there. Like for example, now when you do the analysis of this own merit, how much own, like for example you can take here, so you can see here 23.1%. so out of this own merit is 8.10, correct? So I am redrafting this 15, and then in STs it is not there. So what will happen, the final real reservation is 34.93 and general is 65.07, because that difference own merit goes to general. So similarly for every organization I have done this. So you can see here like for example animal husbandry 6.18%. So 21.81, so it goes to the general category, so it will increase to 61.20. So the net on net you can see here, except for home affairs. So you can see this home affairs, so where the OBC representation is also very high. So in most of the places, by realigning this own merit SC and own merit ST to general, we can actually find out the real gap in OBCs. So this is what I wanted to tell you, because this is a very important thing, and this is a thing which we have to get it realigned at every level. So at every ministry, like for example if you see administrative reforms and public grievances 22.45%, so that own merit will be 7.45%. so that has to go to the general category, and with this redrafting you will get around 72.56 in 76 in general category and 27.24 in OBC. So with this, the gap which has to be filled has to be maintained. So this is something which I wanted to mention, that it is not that just by putting people at group C or group D you can actually increase the overall net on net 50%, because at every level we have to consider, and every level we have to consider own merit, and we have to make sure that the reservation percentages are maintained at each level. So this is a very important thing which I wanted to tell, And with this you can also see that the overall reservation, so you can see this, so it is around 55.93. So what should we actually do? Like, see, this is actually leading to a lot of confusion, which we are seeing at various ministries. So the best thing is that we should maintain a roster, an online roster, an automatic updation of the vacancies for all units of Government of India in one platform, and realigning the own merit cases in all groups and computing the new percentages at each level separately. So it should be a dynamic way where we should be able to know all these vacancies and then how many are filled, so that there is one platform for all these issues. So with that, friends, thank you everyone. So I wanted to just clarify that the SC/STs are not actually eating away the OBC pie. The OBC pie is still there. The SC/STs who have been selected on own merit have to be moved into the general category, and that will release a lot of posts for OBCs, because now what is happening is that the SC/ST OBC reservation cannot cross 50%. Now if SC reservation is around 30% and the STs are around 5%, OBCs can be filled up only at 15%. Now the question here is, how can be SC reservation at 30% when it is at 15%? How can so many numbers be taken? The fact remains is that they are being taken on own merit. That is, if 30% of the SCs are taken, 15% are on their own merit, and those 15% have to be moved to general merit. So this is a simple thing which I wanted to explain in this video, and this has a lot of impact, and lot of realignment is required in the roster and the own merit cases all over India, so that we can realign the SC, ST, OBC reservation